Hello, friend. Welcome to episode 3 of GraphQL Mastery course. Today, we will understand and create custom object in GraphQL schema and write result to fetch data from JSON data source file. In this course, we'll understand what are the custom object, how to define this custom object in GraphQL schema, how to create and query and return a custom types, how to implement resolver and return actual data. Before we start further, if you are new to my channel and new to this course, all the source code has been uploaded to GitHub, and I will add this GitHub link in the description box so that you can refer this code whatever we are going to discuss it. So today we are going to discuss the episode 3, which you can see here is that is all the code I will upload to the 0T GraphQL schema and type system. Let's get started. In this complete course, we are following the given architecture where we are having a GraphQL server. Inside GraphQL server, we have a schema, and then we have resolver, then we have a server, and then we are using a JSON data, and then we will have that queries and mutations which basically fetch and update the data, and then we are having a client application which is basically this index.html will serve as a client application which basically used to communicate to GraphQL APIs, and the GraphQL API combination code is written on the script.js file. So today we will discuss in more detail about the schema.js. So what is schema? How does it work? How we can define the schema, right? So if you are not aware about that, how to do a environment setup, I will request you to go to the episode 1 and 2, which will help you to understand this complete architecture and how we have implemented here. So let's move to next and try to understand that what is GraphQL schema. A GraphQL schema is a blueprint for your API that defines a structure, or you can say a GraphQL schema is a contract between consumer and the client server. It's define the available data type, specify allow operations, enable type safety and validation, self-documenting APIs. So how does it works? So basically, a consumer application or a client application used to send a GraphQL query. Then the server used to validate the GraphQL schema validation happen, and then a resolver used to pass the data and run the logic, and then it's respond the JSON data. Every GraphQL query is validated against the schema before any data fetching occurs, ensuring type safety and preventing runtime errors. So basically, a object type or schema contains three attributes. One is object type. So if you see here, this object type here is a country, is a custom object which has its own attributes. Let's say code, name, capital, currency, and font. So these are the attributes for the object type. It's a custom object type. It's called country, right? And then you will have a other type is called query, where we can define the queries type. So for example, since from starting of this course we have considered the data sources like country, state, so we are defining first here the object type as a country, and then we are writing a queries which will pass the country information from the JSON data. Then we have a scalar type. So each custom object or object will have a use one or more scalar type. So for example, if you see here, the code is id, the name is string. So these are the scalar types which are defined are used to define a particular attributes inside your custom object. Now, why do we need schema? So basically, schema provides a foundation of robust, scalable GraphQL APIs. It's a type safety, compile time validation, prevent runtime error, and ensure data consistency across your entire API. Self documentation is a defined. So schema serve as a living API documentation. For example, if you are having a REST API, you used to have a Swagger documentation. Similar way, these schemas are having a API documentation uh, for the GraphQL, better performance, patch exactly what you need, eliminating overfetching and underfetching with the uh, uh, complex queries. So, what is overfetching? What is underfetching? I have explained in my previous video. If you are not aware about it, I would recommend you to go through that. Then developer experience. Whenever you are writing a queries, I will show you in few minutes. So it will allow when you are having a defined schemas, what will happen, it will allow you to auto completion, and then uh, it will also allow a faster development. Okay, so I have opened the code which I have presented in episode 1 and 2. Since we have defined all what we required here, so we will refer this code. Same code I have uploaded to GitHub. You can refer there as well. So in this code, at high level, we have a two subfolders. One is called GraphQL server and a public. GraphQL server where we are defining our GraphQL schemas resolvers, and the public, which is a consumer application or client application, which basically used to call those APIs. So let's just go here and see what is there inside the GraphQL. So let's discuss about the schemas. As we discuss schemas, which contains the custom object, and each custom object can have one or more attributes, and that attributes will be type of any type of scalars, right? So here we have a country which is custom object, and then we have defined code name, capital, currency, and phone, and then we have written a queries which basically returns this country object. Wherever you see this square bracket, that means it's a collection. So this query basically returns a collection of countries. And then we will see resolver. In this resolver, but we have a JSON data which is called a country.json data, which is reading, and I have stored that data into the data folder. If you refer this code, you will be able to find out inside the data folder I have a country.json file, and then I'm reading this countries, and then I'm just returning it, right? And then I'm exporting this resolver class. So we have defined schema, and then we have defined the resolver, and then what we have done it, we have referred this schema and resolver here, and then what we are doing it, basically we are running this GraphQL API on 4000 port here, and then we are having a schema root value, that is your resolver, and then we are we are just exposing to a 4000 port to this API. So now I will run this API and we'll see what result it is. So I'm running. I need to just navigate to the GraphQL server folder. To run this, I have navigated to GraphQL server folder, and then I just type node and then the server.js file. Let's run it. I run it. Now we will see this APIs are running or not. Okay, so I have opened that URL, localhost 4000 GraphQL, and then we can see it's running. Now I will run this queries. I can see that I'm getting this name, currency. Since we have defined this, if I want to get additional attributes, I can type it, let's say capital, and then I can type it phone, and we'll run it once again. We can see that all the countries, whatever the attributes we have defined in the query, is returning, right? So our GraphQL server is working fine. Now what we will do, we will try to see the client application which we have is able to communicate this and fetch the data. So I will copy only the localhost 4000 because the public applications is running there, so I will just do that. So you can see here this all countries informations are getting fast, and if I open the network tab and click on refresh, you will be able to see this queries there. Okay, so if you see here, I will clear this and I will refresh it just to show you. So if you see this GraphQL, this is the queries which we are passing, and if you see headers, this is the GraphQL location, is a GraphQL URL is getting called, and then if you see the payload information, then you can see this queries are country code name capital currency is getting passed. This is the query, and if you see the response, the same data whatever we have seen that the previous window, right here we are able to get it same way. This application is able to make the query by passing this payload information, like this country code name, whatever attributes is required, and then is able to get the response. After getting the response, is able to bind it. Now we will see how this client application works. To see that, we will first go through that index.html. Index.html, simple HTML file where we have defined a div which is called countries, and then we have referred the script.js file. We will discuss later what is there in script.js file, and then it's a simple, we are adding some style to display those records, right? And then if you see in the script.js file what we have it, we have defined a queries. This queries is very similar what we have seen into the browser when we are testing those queries. So we have a countries, and then we have defined the code name, capital currency, and phone, whatever attributes we are required. Then we are simply making this call to that GraphQL API, which is this URL is defined here is the same URL what we have seen it. And then if if this result is not having any error, then what we are doing it, we are getting all the countries collection, and then we are trying to add a inner HTML by looping all the countries information and writing the inner HTML to that particular div which we have defined here, right? That's how we are calling that GraphQL API using script.js file here and rendering into the index.html. I hope it helps you to understand what is GraphQL schema and how to define it, how to use it. If it helps you to understand this GraphQL schema, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.